Why does the world contain so much evil? And why do bad things happen to good people? What is the point of awakening your mind if you're just destined to become acutely aware of all the deep and unfair suffering that exists? Many years ago at an ayahuasca ceremony, I asked these exact same questions. And here's what the plants told me. The universe, and by extension of this, our planet, is by its very nature a chaotic place. For a moment, visualize a vast and sprawling desert with endless rolling dunes that extend as far as the eye can see. Now imagine that you found yourself alone here, stranded, without any means of escape. It's impossible to call for support. No one is searching for you. Hospitable land is thousands of miles away. Therefore, walking to freedom is impossible. You are lost, helpless and worried for your safety. In an attempt to try and understand these alien surroundings, you climb the tallest dune in sight to survey the land. Upon reaching the peak, you look out into the distance, and on the horizon, you make out a shape that appears to be a tiny desert oasis. In that instance, your despair is transformed into hope. You hastily make your way towards this oasis. Perhaps it has shade from the heat and protection from the elements. As you approach, you see a small freshwater lake. It's surrounded by trees containing exotic fruits. You notice nuts and other edible plants. And then you begin to realize that this place can sustain you. Now, imagine that every single individual grain of sand within the vast and endless desert represents a negative act. And by comparison, the small oasis represents the energy of good. One of these forces dramatically outnumbers the other, but only one of these energies can sustain you. Resigned to a realization that you must remain in the oasis until your dying days, which is the better question to ask? How far and wide does this desert extend? How could I leave this place? Or how could I grow the size of the oasis? Chaos is the default state of this universe. It is an essential force that delivered the conditions for you and I to exist today, but asking why evil exists distracts us from a far more poignant question: why does good exist? No other beings on our planet have the conscious ability to carry out intentional good acts. You have the power to become a small oasis of good in the desert of chaos and negativity. And when you accept this, you begin to realize the only way to reduce the size of the desert is to increase the size of the oasis.